As a matter of fact, Castle Carcassonne isn't even the right building tier to be able to gain access to the unique building, but we got the enchanted item. I think it's going to do a lot more damage to them than it is to me, and holy crud was I correct. Welcome to Total War Warhammer 3, where today we're going to be taking the Fay Enchantress and turning her into a one-woman doomstack. So here we are in the campaign. We do have the Blessing of the Lady by default, which is a damage resistance of 15%, the spell resistance is 25%, and the missile resistance is 15%. We also have the Favor of the Fey ability, Awakening of the Wood, Earth Blood, a spell mastery of 100%, and we also have the Mist of the Lady, which is a hex ability that affects all units in the nearby radius. For vows, we are going to do the Pledge to Chivalry, and now let's attack our first army. So for the opening battle, we're going to be keeping the Fay Enchantress in the back. We're not going to be sending her in just yet, but what we are going to be sending forwards are the Grail Guardians. Grail Guardians are a pretty good unit. They have perfect vigor, and of course they are a knight unit, and they can activate their lance formation, which gives them extra mass, speed, charge bonus, and charge speed. However, it does reduce their melee defense. Also, our glorious blessed trebuchet that is not at all overpowered due to the fact that it cannot do friendly fire is already giving the Doom Diver catapults some grief, which is pretty good. And it looks like we'll be now casting our first spell of the campaign. We're going to plop down the Awakening of the Woods right here, so that way we can catch all of the orc boys, and okay, that's some pretty good damage. And there we go, that is a successful victory. And now on turn 2, we're going to get a very interesting quest. This gives us Morgiana's Mirror, and what it wants us to do is it wants us to go into Carcassonne and build this unique building right here. But we're not actually going to do that. What we're going to do instead is we're going to move the Fay Enchantress up, then we're going to drop down a save file, and then we are going to load said save file, and then once you're loaded, you're just going to hit end turn, and then at the beginning of turn 3, the quest is going to be marked as successful. I have no idea why or how. As a matter of fact, Castle Carcassonne isn't even the right building tier to be able to gain access to the unique building, but we got the enchanted item on turn 3, and once we equip it, our spell resistance will go all the way up to 55%. That is really good considering it's turn 3, but I think we can do a bit better. This is because right next to us is Grom the Paunch, who we are going to go to war with. And after defeating him, we do get the Weight Watcher trait, which gives us a diplomatic relations boost with High Elves. But the real thing that we wanted was the Mount Silveron. This is because Silveron buffs the Fay Enchantress's spell resistance to 60%, which, when combined with the Mirror, means that we have capped out our spell resistance, and it is only turn 3. Game, why? And there we go, now we have completed our first vow. Now for our second one, we are going to do a Pledge to Manon, and for research, we're going to want to pick up the Heraldry of Aquitaine, which allows us to confederate Aquitaine, which is only going to cost 5,000 gold, which is perfectly fine, because we have plenty. And since Aquitaine's willing to pay us before we confederate them, we're going to get a trade agreement, non-aggression pact, military access, and some gold. And here we are, now we're going to appease the lords, and we just picked up Cyrene's Locket, which gives us a physical resistance of 15%. Not the worst, but also not the best. We also did get an army large enough to cripple our economy, so what we're actually going to do is move both of our armies forwards, and now we can move the Fay Enchantress up, take our secondary army, and go to war with Musselian. And from the battle, we picked up the Armor of Fortune, which is pretty good. This is because when combined with the Talisman of Endurance, which isn't the best ward save talisman, it gives us a ward save of 13%, which when combined with the Blessing of the Lady, means that we have a ward save of 28%. And this is on turn 10, so needless to say, we're doing quite well. And now that we hold Musselian, we can start taking care of our economy issues. And there we go, now our economy is nice and happy again. And now Slaanesh is declaring war. Alright, that is perfectly fine. And now, after defeating Enkari, we get the Tyrion Owes Me trait, which increases speed, which is alright, not particularly great. But what is great is the Lady of the Land, which gives us a control +3 and corruption -10 in the local province, as well as a growth +5 for all provinces. Needless to say, Enkari is not going to like this, because all this Slaanesh corruption is about to go. So some time has passed, and the Sword of Khaine has just been claimed by this guy right here. This is absolutely wonderful. And random sidetrack here, but I can sack this for 10,000. Yes, I'm going to sack that. But anyway, now we can claim the Sword of Khaine. The Sword of Khaine gives us a few fun things. Firstly, it gives us the Unbreakable attribute. Secondly, it gives us a massive Vortex ability. Then it gives us some extra armor-piercing weapon damage, magical attacks, melee attack, and a ward save of 20%. Now, the ward save on the Fay Enchantress is starting to get a little bit broken. This is because the Sword of Khaine is giving us a 20% ward save, our talisman is 8%, our armor is giving us another 8%, and the Girdle of Gold is giving us an additional 15%, while the Blessing of the Lady is giving another 15%. Which that means between the 51% ward save and the Blessing of the Lady, our ward save is sitting at 66%, and we have a 90% spell resistance. And then this random 15% missile resistance because we do. Oh, we also have the Chalice of Potions now, which gives us a bombardment ability, and we've gotten most of the spells that we need. So now that I have all this, I think it's time to head back to the Bretonnian mainland. And now we have just finished our 8 technologies requirement, and we got a Talisman of Preservation, which is significantly better than the Talisman of Endurance. And now our ward save is 59%, which when adding on the Blessing of the Lady, is putting us all the way at 74%. Alright, this is getting absolutely crazy. So anyway, what I think it's time to do now is take my entire army and plunk them into someone else's army, and now let's see just how much damage the Fay Enchantress can do. My target? How about all of these undead troops right here? So the game is calling for a decisive defeat. Our battle difficulty is hard, and let's see what happens. So what is the plan here? Well, the plan is to find the lords, and I want to lord snipe all of the lords first. I love how they keep shifting around. This is really annoying, guys. We do have everyone coming in actually over here, so what we're going to do is we're going to wait. We're not going to attack, we're not going to block. I want them to all sally on to the field of battle in the 24 seconds that's going to require them to all get onto the battlefield. There we go. Enemy reinforcements are approaching. Yes, I am aware. Come on, everyone. Get on to the field of battle. Get on out here. Yeah, that is a lot of units. Well, this is where the excitement begins, I guess. I'm currently outnumbered 1 to 3,192. Well, those are excellent odds, if I do say so myself. And let's charge on in, and I'm just going to let them all come on in and surround the Fay Enchantress. This is because some of them are holding back, which is exactly what I want. I don't want to get so locked in that I can never leave. And then I'm going to take the Dwellers of Below, and yes, there is going to be a little bit of friendly fire. I am not particularly concerned, though. I think it's going to do a lot more damage to them than it is to me, and holy crud was I correct. Well, that is a good chunk of damage happening right there. That is actually really good. You know what, let's drop on the Chalice of Potions. Or let's just keep the pressure going. Yeah, we have dire wolves charging on it. That's not gonna do much. As a matter of fact, it's probably not gonna do much of anything. Why are all their troops just wandering off? What is over here, guys? Genuinely, what is over here? I have absolutely no idea. Anyway, time for another Dwellers of Below. And just as expected, that is absolutely tearing them to shreds. Excellent. Drop on some healing just because. And you know what I think it's time for? Another Sword of Khaine. Because why not? And yep, that's doing some good damage. That's doing really good damage. And now it's just starting to go off into the middle of nowhere. That's fine. And this should be the final Dwellers of Below that I need to break up this blob. Yep, most of them are disintegrating. I think it's time to pull out of here though, or try to. Or maybe not. You know what? I'll just stay right here. Or everyone's gonna come on over and say hello soon. One of the two. Nope, they're not gonna let me leave. That's fine. Alright everyone, come on over. Come pile on over. There you go. And another Dwellers of Below. And then I think after these guys are gone, it's just going to be the Master Necromancers and this other Necromancer. Alright, that's fine. That is perfectly fine by me. You know what, we can drop another Chalice of Potions because I don't think that's going to do very good against single entity units. And this should crumble everyone here. Emphasis on the word should if it ever drops. Come on down. There we go. A little bit delayed. Still did its job though. And there we go. Looks like army losses now? Maybe. It might be. It might be army losses. Yep, that was army losses. Our casualty count was 1,730. Damage dealt 219,000. Gold value 15,000. I also love how some of them came back to life because why not? But that's fine. We are more than capable of taking the castle. Alright, where is everyone? I honestly don't know. Actually, where is everyone? That is a good question. Is anyone even here? Maybe. I don't know. You know what? While we're just sitting out here, let's do a little bit of healing. They're just now starting to realize that I exist. And I'm probably just gonna sit here and wait for my Winds of Magic to fill up, because why not? I am in absolutely no rush to attack. And let's start knocking down the doors while the Winds of Magic keeps on filling up. Actually, since we have so many units up here, can I drop this on the wall? Yes, I can. I can drop this on along the wall. Well, that's fun. You have 19 grave guards sitting on the other side of this gate. Are you expecting to be able to last very long here? The main issue is not taking you down, it's just getting through the gate. The gate is literally the largest enemy and the hardest enemy to bring down right now. And the gates are destroyed, and they just ran. They didn't even stick around, they just ran. Really? Come on, Grave Guard. Come on, fight me. Alright, all we're going to do is an Awakening of the Wood to take care of you guys. So that should take care of the Fellbats and the Grave Guard, maybe? I guess not. Are they all actually retreating? Are they legitimately running away? Also, the fact that I'm actually winning in the balance of power. Wait, there's 256 troops out of 928. I haven't taken out that many guys, I'm just sitting at 26. How? How are you losing troops? There we go. Sword of Khaine got the Master Necromancer to come on down. That is what I wanted. Now don't let the Master Necromancer escape. Fay, you let him escape. Why did you let him escape? Alright, now, Master Necromancer, will you stay in one place and let me rampage you? No? Come on, start rampaging. I know you want to. There we go. Now you're rampaging. Knew it would just take a little bit of time. And Fay Enchantress, come on, beat the Master Necromancer. There we go. Enemy Lord is down. And it should cause everyone to get upset and disintegrate. There we go. And there you have it. It is entirely possible to make the Fay Enchantress so powerful through various items that she is able to solo entire armies and even take castles all by herself. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to smash the like button and subscribe for more content like this. Also, go check out my Discord server as well as my Patreon. Links to both those in the description below. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video and hope you enjoy the rest of your day.